The world is charged with the grandeur of God. Thus wrote Gerard Manley Hopkins in the 1800s, and as he was speaking to a generation that probably, for the most part, believed in God, they could really identify with those words. But this was also the age of Darwin. And from his time onwards, the argument between religion and science really heated up. For those of us who are religious and also thank God for the advances of science, there is no real dichotomy between religion and science. That there should be discussion and indeed heated argument is no bad thing. But they are different ways of looking at life and the world around about us, and both can tell us much. And it's painting ourselves into a corner to believe that science has got nothing to offer, or to believe that religion has got nothing to offer. Now, plenty of other people have spoken about that and written about that, and I'm not going to rehash those arguments. What I want to speak to you over these series of videos that we're making for our Teaching is Believing website is about knowing. If I want to know about these trees, the hills, the rivers, whatever, I ask botanists, scientists, marine biologists, or whoever. I want to understand how they work, what happens, how plants grow, how animals act in the way that they do, and why they act in the way that they do. But if I really want to know them, well, that's a different matter, because that's involving all of my senses, all of my way of thinking, all of my background, all of my experiences. And as I know, I want to know more. That's what religious people have in common with scientists. Both of us want to know more. For the religious person, we want to know more about how we should act, what we should do, and what it is we really understand about ourselves, the people around about us, and the world we live in, and how we should care for the world in which we live. The scientist can help us know a bit more, while they, in turn, want to know more. Every discovery they make leads them to a new question about the next stage. And once they've conquered that, they then want to understand even more. Well, what about the next bit? What's the next step on our journey? That is the common ground between scientists and people of religion and people who consider philosophical issues. It's the more. Where does the more come from? What is it about me that once I know something, I want to know more? What is it about me and everyone around about me who is not satisfied with just one piece of knowledge or one way of doing things? We want to explore more. Even if we're into a routine, and we're people who like routines, we still get a little dissatisfied after a while and want to know more. For the religious person, in this world round about us, God reveals himself. Not that he's in the tree, or in the sea, or in the river, but that through his creation, in his creation, with that experience that we have of his creation, he shows us glimpses of himself and leads us on to explore more and more and more about ourselves, about him, about the world around about us. When we consider the mystery of God and we try to figure out what that means for us, what that means for how we should act, what that means for what we should do and how we should treat others, then we are led on and on and on a journey of discovery. It's maybe about time that we didn't just focus too much about the way that we think, because everyone thinks differently. But the real common ground is knowing. And what is it that I do when I'm knowing? What is it that I'm really thinking about? And how do I come to that knowledge? And how is it that you and I are led on and on and on with each little breadcrumb of knowledge that we get, we're led into a greater mystery? That's what I want to explore a little in this series of videos, and I hope that you can join me on this journey of discovery.